Welcome to episode 198 of the Fully In It podcast. What does it take to go from dreaming of having your own business to actually becoming the CEO? Well, on today's episode, 3 of the women from the current round of the Family Fueled CEO Mastermind are sharing their stories of scaling businesses while raising families. These women live all around the world with different business models and family lives, and yet all 3 are examples of a family-first business in action. This episode is going to inspire and motivate you to take your business to the next level for the family life you dream of. Are you ready to jump in? Let's go ahead and do this. Welcome to the Fully In It podcast with Kate Saffel, a show for powerful moms growing life-changing businesses while showing up intentionally for their families. I teach you how to create a family-first and profitable business in less time by leveraging simple strategy, mom life-friendly systems, and above all, the mindset of going fully in it. You ready? So today I have some of the women from the Family Fueled CEO Mastermind joining me for a conversation on what it's like being a mother who is in business. And I'm so excited to have all 3 of you here joining me. And I would love if each of you took a turn just introducing yourselves so that those who are listening can get to know you, get to know a little bit of your story before we jump into our full conversation. So, Jamie, do you want to go first?
Sure. Hi, everyone. So I'm Jamie. I live in Tasmania, which is an island at the very bottom of Australia, a long way from Kate. So I'm married and we've got 4 children. So they're 22, 20, 17, and 12. And I've been in business for a few years now as a privately practicing home birth midwife. But I've been transitioning out of that into doing midwifery mentoring and coaching. And so I've been working with Kate as I'm learning how to set up and do a different type of business. So, yeah.
Awesome, Jamie. I'm so grateful that you're here and you're going to be sharing your story. And Rachel, you're also here joining us.
Yes, I'm Rachel. I live in Thousand Oaks, California. Married, mother of 2 young ones. And about a year ago, we made a big family transition, and I started having the idea that I wanted to start my own business that also supported what I wanted for myself and my family. And that involved homeschooling my children. So I wanted to create income for me that could allow me to stay at home and be there for my kids and give us like the freedom to travel and just kind of do what we wanted. My journey, I have a big background in winemaking and came up with the idea to start selling like luxury, high-end wine coolers and wine refrigerators online. And started a business, started Premier Wine Coolers July of 2024, and been trying to grow that. So that's what brought me here, and that's what I'm doing now.
I love that so much. And I really love how you started with the vision first, and then you built the business to support it. So very cool. And then finally, we have Fazia.
Hi, so my name is Fazia, and I live now in Nairobi, Kenya. We've moved from Melbourne, Australia, about 2.5 years with my husband and 5 kids. And it's been quite an adventure adjusting, living in Africa. Yeah, and it's been rewarding and challenging, and yeah, it's all put together. But I think we've gotten something out of it as a family. We're growing, kids are maturing, seeing different cultures. So yeah, it's been a rewarding move and an adventure. And I'm a holistic health and life coach for mothers. I came across Kate. I think when we moved to Kenya here, and I was just struggling to adjust here, and also like while I'm like navigating my family for the move here, and also just how to sort of keep going with my business that I started in 2022. So yeah, and it's been a quite uh adventure, and also like just being coached by Kate, and then we landed here in this mastermind, and yeah, it's been beautiful so far.
Oh, I love that so much, right? It's our journeys with our families play such a big part in how we lead our businesses and how we think of ourselves, and also how we show up to motherhood. And each of you have your own unique path that you have come to this, and you came to the mastermind and your reasons for why you did it. I'm really curious what it has been like to create a family first business. That is something we talk about, right, quite a bit in this mastermind. So I'd love to hear, what does that mean for you?
Yeah, so Family First CEO or Mastermind, like that whole concept really drew me in. I've been listening to Kate actually for years since she was in Cohesive Home. That was back when I was a missionary mum and a homeschooling mum, and I discovered Kate back then before I was in business, and then lost touch for a few years, and then found her again and realized, oh, now she's speaking to businesswomen, and I'm a businesswoman now. So it's been a really great journey. And I guess the bit that really stood out to me was that family first concept, because as an on-call home birth midwife, I've been putting family first for years, but not my family. It's been everyone else's family, because that's just the nature of being on call for someone, and babies come when they will, and women need a midwife when, no one can really predict or plan for that. And so I just got into this habit for years of being on edge and being ready to jump for everyone else's family at the expense of my own. And um, yeah, I just eventually realized, like, it caught up with me and thought, this isn't sustainable and it's not fair. It's costing me a lot in terms of my own health and just sense of well-being, but also it had a big impact on my marriage. That nearly fell apart, and I feel like I've missed years of my kids' lives actually, which was odd, because I went from homeschooling and just being with them all the time to suddenly, like, there's all these years where I just wasn't present. When I was home, I wasn't really present because I was just recovering or on edge, waiting to get called out again. So that's been a big part of why I wanted to transition into something else, that I can serve women, love on them, be there for them without it costing my family too much. Um, and so, yeah, that's been really attractive for me, to get back to the basics of having my home running better, and having my home value, our home values upheld, while also being able to show up in business. Yeah, so that's kind of what I love about the Family First CEO concept, that Kate really models and then helps us work out that kind of balance. Balance probably isn't quite the right word, because I don't think it's ever a balanced scale. I think it's just a fluid equilibrium that tips either way depending on what needs are. But just making sure that one aspect of life, like business, doesn't dominate home, or home doesn't take over and stop you from growing your business, getting that right. And that's been really valuable for me in this mastermind.
What about you, Rachel?
Well, as I was starting this business and telling family about it and what I was set out to do, I was told that I couldn't. So, and then my business was starting to get a little stuck. I was starting to get a little stuck. So I started looking for business coaches. And um, seeing family first, right? Just seeing that like I mean I just found Kate on Google or something like um and showing she was showing up as I wanted to show up. What it means to me, it means everything. Um if you have a thought that you want in your life, like it is available to you. There is, I mean, yeah, and it's just been beautiful.
I love that. What about you, Fazia?
Like I kind of resonate with Rachel as well and Jamie. So I came across that Family First CEO when I came to your previous coaching program that you had, the group coaching expand. And I was like so excited because I've been in a lot of other containers, coaching containers, but it's always been like you have to be the business owner, or like I've never had like that family first. So it had to, everything that I've been, the containers that I've been in, it was always focusing on how you can prioritize your business, which was like, it wasn't, as a mom, it was not sustainable. Like it was just, I felt myself, I have to put a lot of hours in there in my business. And it was like my family was like getting at the back burner, which was not what I wanted. So when I came across that method or concept in your container, it was like an eye opener. And I felt like, yeah, I needed this. And creating like the family vision that you taught us, and then like working around my family to build my business, it just felt like a sigh of relief. Like it was amazing. And I just fell in love with that concept. And since then, that's what I've been doing, and working with you has been a blessing because it just made, like, as Rachel was saying, I felt like you were being me. Like, I felt I see you in me, like, whatever you were doing, like with your family, whether travel, homeschooling, just like prioritizing your family was like motivating me to do the same without like compromising my business or my family. So yeah, I just love this concept or method.
Well, and all three of you are doing so well at modeling that, right? And integrating that into your life. I'm curious what it has been like for you to even see yourself as a CEO, right? As a mother CEO, to hold that identity of like mom and business owner at the same time. I know, Rachel, you said you had people who told you you couldn't, and so what has that been like for you?
Yeah, so I actually struggled to put on that identity of a CEO, even though I've been in business for 6 or 7 years. I would have said, yes, I'm a businesswoman, but I didn't see myself as a CEO, even though I established and ran both businesses. So for me, that was a kind of a new concept, and it really invited me to stretch into that mentality of owning that I am the expert in my life and in my business. Um, and yeah, I was really confident as a midwife in my midwifery skills, but going into business, even as a midwife, we don't get taught how to run a business when we train to be a midwife. So that was a stretch going into that, but very quickly that business became very successful. And so I grew my confidence in that area. And I've lent on that moving into mentoring and coaching, um, in the moments where I feel like that imposter syndrome, like, oh, maybe I'm not experienced enough, or who do I think I am moving into this area? Um, I've just lent back on, well, I felt like that when I started out in midwifery business as well. And I actually do have what I need. And so yeah, that CEO concept has been stretchy for me, but very helpful in helping me with decision making in my business and my home, and learning to trust my intuition in that and to come back to those values and and no one's imposing anything on me. I get to choose, I get to decide what my life will look like. And so, yeah, that's kind of what that CEO concept's been like for me to lean into.
I love that so much, Jamie. And I especially appreciate how you gave the example of pulling past evidence to remind yourself of what you are capable of. And, everyone who's listening, whatever stage of business that you are at, or even if you're just thinking about starting a business, you have examples in your life of when you were courageous and you led something and you developed skills that will and can help you as an entrepreneur. So that was a wonderful example, Jamie. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, I also just remembered that feeling that I always needed to outsource expertise to someone else. I think that's something that this mastermind container has helped me with. I think I spent probably a good year thinking I needed someone else to help me in my business. And it's been very helpful to have coaching support, definitely. But that CEO concept also has been for me about realizing that it's not someone else's responsibility and other people aren't the expert. I might have mentioned that, but I just wanted to highlight that a bit more because I think it's really tempting. I actually got myself too busy trying to be part of too many groups and too many containers, thinking I would find the answers I needed and something that I didn't have in those places. Um, and that's what I've loved about this container. Like Kate, you keep bringing it back to the basics and keeping it simple and not overcomplicating it. And then that feels very achievable and doable. And therefore, the business side of things starts to get done because I'm not in overwhelm all the time and I'm not thinking someone else must know how to do this better than me. So, yeah, that's also been part of that CEO concept for me.
Yeah, and that's so common, right? We think the answer, it's out there somewhere. So if I just buy all the programs and I invest in all the things and I read up and I'm on social media, I will find that like magic bullet solution. But really, what the whole point, one of the main points of this mastermind is for you to become the expert, for you to trust yourself. And I'm really glad that you said that, Jamie. So what about you, Rachel, right? You had mentioned people didn't believe you could do this, but I mean, you're kind of killing it right now in your business. So what has that been like for you to become the CEO?
Thanks, Kate. Appreciate that. Um, it has been so empowering. My confidence has just gone through the roof. It's like I have like really like stepped into this new version of myself. Yeah, CEO mama, and it's changed so much about me in like little ways, but in other ways, big ways too. It's from little things, from like signing off on my emails as like, wait, I am CEO, like that's who you're talking to. You're talking to the CEO of the company. Um, and that also has affected my personal life, my home life, like in a positive way. Like, what does the CEO do in her business? She makes decisions, she kind of sticks to it and like lays it out. And the same thing goes on with the family. Like, we make the decisions, here's the plan, and let's go, let's head it out. Um, yeah, so my confidence has just so high and it's been a wonderful, again, another wonderful transition of learning how to run my own business.
It's been really cool to see your growth, Rachel, and to see that internal shift, right? And that was something that you worked on quite a bit at the beginning of the mastermind, was shifting the internal identity to then create the external results. And that's really the case for anyone. It's like if there's something you want to create, you kind of have to become that person first.
Yes, absolutely. Like even today, like getting ready for today, I just made sure that that CEO, like 30K mama, like showed up.
Yes, yes,
Hmm.
right. And so like owning that is just who you are and it's what you do. So Fazia, What about you? What kind of shifts have you had to make to become the CEO mom and hold that
Okay.
identity?
I'm gonna be honest, like I never saw myself as a CEO. Like for me, the definition of being a CEO mom was like so different. I thought like I have to earn like certain amount of money, income. I have to have like a big like team. Um, I don't know, own my own office. Like all the things that we see online and like um as how we see coaches or business owners, I thought I had to be that to actually claim that CEO title. So, but being in this container just showed me like, that that's a different definition. You can earn that. Like, I know I'm showing up for my family, for my business. I'm making decisions. I've been my own team at the moment, and just learning things at the back end of my business, how to make decisions, how to create content that will resonate with my people. All that made me like, oh my God, like as Rachel said, it was so empowering that whenever even you come on the group and you say, hey, mom CEOs, I'm like, yeah, I am. Just gives me like, yeah. So I think for our listeners as well, like sometimes you might wait for you to end that definition of being a CEO mom. But the minute you actually start thinking about owning your own business, I think you should earn that title. Yeah.
Oh, yes, yes, that is so good, right? It's not something that you have to earn or look a certain way. It's just who you are, and you become that when you decide to start a business. That was so good, Fazia. Thank you for sharing that. So I know people listening may be wondering, okay, how do you actually run your business and hold it side by side with being a mom? And all three of you have kids at different ages and stages, a different family. Fazia's got 5 kids, Jamie's got 4, Rachel, you've got 2. So what is that like? Give us a taste of like, what does it look like in your life to hold? Like, what would a typical day look like?
Yeah, so one of the concepts that's helped me the most in refinding, or just, I guess my life was very chaotic when I was on call because I just, like I said, had to be ready to go. And therefore, I don't feel like we established really good home patterns. Things got done, but I always felt like we were reacting to someone else's need in life rather than just having things run smoothly. And so, yeah, one of the biggest supportive things for me has been time blocking. That idea that, like, I sat down and brainstormed and listed out, well, what's really important for our home life. And I made sure that each of those things had a place in the week on the calendar. Like, and even really boring things like grocery shopping and meal planning and running around for kids and just having a catch-up day at home to get everything put away and guarding that time for that, and then having time blocks for work. So I know I work best in the morning, and now all my children are either out of school or at school, so I'm not homeschooling anymore. And so for me, my day looks like getting up, and the first part of the day is just feeding everyone a good breakfast, getting everyone out the door. And then I usually run around and tidy up so then I can think properly when there's not clutter everywhere, just from the busy morning. And then I have a work block. I'm fresh and I can concentrate during that time. In the past, I would just work whenever. So that could have been the evenings, and I'd sit down and answer an email, and before you know it, an hour's gone and I've missed family time. Or I would catch up on admin on a Saturday when the kids were actually home, or I just didn't have set times for things. And therefore, like I said, I was always reacting to life. And so, balance that kind of finding that balance or just prioritizing what needs to happen has been really helpful, using time blocks to do that. Yeah, it's just helped minimize some of the chaos of family life and juggling a business from home. So, yeah.
And you've done really beautifully with that too. I've seen over the last year how you have really worked at building a sustainable, again, maybe not balance, but holding between home and motherhood and business. And time blocking is such an impactful tool for that.
Yeah, it sounds so simple, but I guess I just didn't have any patterns or rhythm to life. And so for me, I had to get back to the basics and get that right before I could grow or build a new business. Yeah, so that each thing had its due, like the time and space it deserves. Yeah.
Yes, definitely. Well, what about you, Rachel? What does that look like for you on a day-to-day basis?
Yeah, totally agree with Jamie. Time blocking has changed my life. Um, yeah, it was when I started this business, probably when I started this mastermind. I knew what time blocking was, but didn't really start using it until I realized how precious my time was. And um, so a typical day, like I'll have like a time block usually set up. I wake up early because in order for me to show up as my best, I like just have to have like quiet time in the morning. So I wake up early, usually get a workout in, a meditation, and then there's usually be a short work block in that morning, like to answer emails, maybe process orders, something like that. And then it's focusing with the kids. If they need breakfast still, I mean, husband usually helps out with that, but breakfast, and then we usually have a homeschool block in the morning after that, followed by lunch, and then at least Charlie still naps. So then there's some quiet time. So that's when I get like another work block in during that quiet time in the afternoon. And then we wrap it. Well, the afternoon will end with some reading or a little bit of playtime. Hopefully, dinner has been planned ahead of time. Sometimes there's meal prepping done on the weekends, and um, yeah, so usually a kind of a quick dinner, maybe a little bit more playtime, and then we're all in bed between like 8 and 9. Um, that's a typical day.
Gotta love that early bedtime. I feel like that makes such a huge difference when you are really trying to bring your all every day to your family and to your business. You need good rest.
Right? We do. We all need to be restored.
Yes. Yeah. Oh, that was so good. And then Fazia, what about you, right? 5 kids. What does this look like?
I'm gonna be honest with you all, and probably like my story will resonate with the moms who are starting. When I started my business, to be honest, I was like just juggling, like finding my ways. As Rachel said and Jamie, I loved block scheduling, and that was actually saved me before even I started my business during COVID. So I've been like all in block scheduling. I had that set up also synced with my Google Calendar. So I had the time blocks, and that's before I had business. But then when I started my business and became really serious, I still didn't have like a work block. I just worked whenever I had a bit of time. Sometimes played small, sometimes didn't do anything because I didn't actually have strategy or, what tasks to do. And then, yeah, so after I had like about work block, that was my thinking is like I have to have an office where I'm going to. And I'm like, that's what I was thinking. Same with the CEO title. So, but then I've realized when I came across you, Kate, that okay, you can do that at your home, even when your kids are around, and like during breaks or if they're sick. So I think having work blocks and also having like a plan the night before, or what I do now is like Sunday planning. I brain dump everything and then I put it into any do, which I came across you, Kate, and you mentioned it. So I have like personal goals, family and work, and then also my groceries. Like whenever I need to, I have like 2 days in a week where I shop, usually Sundays. and Wednesdays. So that actually just made my day with a structure. Like I have a structure in my day and it's been so rewarding. So the days that I don't use my tasks, like the tools, I know I'm not productive in my business or at home as well. So I feel like, yeah, having that structure, having tools and systems, to just help you structure your day as a mom CEO, and also even if you have like 1 or 2 hours, being so focused is something that is helping me. There's one thing also I've been trying, and it's been because for me, I sort of I get distracted so easily. Like if I'm working and I have my phone next to me, I might just like look at the Instagram or look at this and that, and time slips. So I'm using this something called I think Promodo, I think. Have you heard of that? It's just like it's a like sort of a system. It's a website that you go and you put your task, and then you have like time that you focus. So you have like 25 minutes that you can click and start working on your tasks, and then it gives you after the 25 minutes like either you choose long break or 5 minute break, short breaks. I'm just gonna give you after this so you can put it in your show note. I think Promodo is called. I don't know if I'm saying it right.
I do
Is
know
it?
what you're talking about. I don't know how you say it, the
I used
Pomodoro
it.
method. Is that what
Yeah, yeah.
Pomodoro?
Pomodoro.
Have you
Yep.
all heard of that? I know I've come across it in the kind of the minimalist productivity world. So yeah, that's so cool.
Yeah.
And that's working,
So
huh?
that is keeping me focused in case like someone who's listening at the end and you feel like you're not focused, because that was like keeping me really focused. If I'm editing a podcast or if I'm working on an email, or it's just helping me to focus. So I think introducing these systems, and like you just have to test and try whatever works for you as a mom and a CEO. And then I think just, yeah, just running with it and trying it for over a period of time. And then, yeah, I think that's something that is working for me at the moment.
Are you ready to scale your business? Listen, if you are, there is something you need to know. Smart mom CEOs, they build the family fueled way, where learning how to simply scale in less time is the key. Join me in the Family Fueled CEO Mastermind, and you'll learn exactly how to lead as an expert and take up more space in your industry while you scale a minimalist business that creates more time and financial freedom so that you and your family can live into your happiest life together. Enrollment for the January 2026 round opens on October 6th. Save $1,000 when you apply by October 12th. There are only 5 spots available. Will I see you in the next round? Head to happierinamotherhood.com/mastermind to learn more. That's happierinamotherhood.com/mastermind. These are such practical and wise tips for when it comes to holding home and business. I love all three of you emphasized time blocking and finding systems that work for you and kind of hacking your focus so that you can get the most out of your time and not have to work all the time, right? Because that's kind of the goal as mom CEOs, is that we get the business done and then we get back to family life. So you all have made so many changes during this mastermind. It has just been such an honor to witness your growth for each one of you. And I'm so curious, what have been your biggest wins during the mastermind, your biggest breakthrough takeaway for each one of you?
It's been an interesting time for me because I've actually been trying to heal from burnout. So it's an odd time to be starting a new business, but I really see that as an achievement and something I'm really proud of, because this time has been about honoring my need to heal and rest and making decisions to have a business that won't burn me out in the future. And so I've had to relearn ways of being and patterns in my own life, and even ways of thinking and how I show up, and learning to um, do business with like a feminine in a feminine way where I attract clients, I rest, I lean into that concept that the right people will find me when they need to, rather than that sense of I've got to hustle, I've got to push, 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 drive myself all the time. I just don't have the capacity for that. And it's been really wonderful to realize I don't have to be like that to have a successful business. So that's been a really big breakthrough, I would say, even though it might not be the answer you're expecting. In terms of other things, I've also been learning how to lean into working from a place of inspiration, not this sense of I should do this all the time. And so I think there are things that I was doing in business thinking I should do this and realizing this doesn't light me up. And I just put a lot of time and energy into things that I actually didn't want to do. And so shifting that as well and tuning into my instincts for business and what inspires me so that I show up in a way that is inspiring for women and supportive. So one thing for me was um, retreats for midwives, like having that sense that I'm not the only midwife that has burnt out or feels burnt out. And so I want to run supportive seminars and retreats for midwives. And so I've organized one on a cruise for the end of next year. And it sold out really quickly. Like I haven't done something like this before, but I wrote a program and I've advertised it, and very quickly the 40 spots were sold out, and I've had to open up more space for that. So that didn't even feel like hard work. I still have to finish writing the program for the teaching and the seminar part, but that was a big win for me and really helped me continue to lean into, yeah, working in my business in a way that inspires me. If it's helpful for me, it's going to be helpful for other midwives too. So yeah, signed a few clients as well. So I've been able to support some midwives one-on-one with mentoring and helping them set up business, and also running debriefs for midwives and clients. So these are other things that I've managed to do while recovering from burnout myself. So I feel like that's been a big achievement, and I'm feeling really good and positive about how I can serve women in a way that doesn't cost me too much, or yeah.
Mean, those are huge wins, Jamie. And, you know, in life, right, we have both internal growth and external growth. And often in business, right, we look at the externals. What leads to the externals is what you are doing on the inside. It's that honoring your needs. It is building from rest and in a sustainable way. And it was so important for you, Jamie, to set your business up this way. And I think what is so powerful is seeing how you completely booked out that cruise while resting.
Yeah.
Right. And so our brains say, I think, and I'm saying this for everyone listening, right? There's such a mentality of that hard work, hustle, push yourself to get the results. And I've seen in this round of the mastermind, as well as past rounds that I've ran, that there is just this really beautiful correlation between rest and success. And you women are the ones who are rewriting this and setting the example for other mom CEOs. So, Rachel, what about you? What has been your biggest wins and takeaways from the mastermind?
Well, one of the funnest, I want to share this a little bit. Because yeah, my business was kind of stalling out. I was hitting like $3,000 a month in revenue, and it's not where I wanted to be. And one week in our mastermind, Kate goes, she's like, "Okay, what goal do you want to set next month?" And I'm like, let's do it. Let's do 10K. Why not? Like that sounds good. And I was just showing up like how I had been doing, how I've been um, learning and changing, growing myself in the mastermind, and the sales started coming in, and we were so close, and it was like about the end of the month, and so close to that hitting that number. And I'm like, but you know what? I'm like, that's okay. Like, it was a good month, it was like a big month, anyways. And then, like, the next day, and it's the last day of the month, and bam, that last sale just came in right at the end. And I'm like, oh my gosh, like it works. Um, and yeah, and then I hit next month's goal, which was more. And so those were like the big motivational wins were definitely those, but like, kind of overall, like the biggest wins is like how this mastermind has kind of taught me to, well, to recognize my strengths. It was like stuff that's always been a part of me, like parts of my personality of who I am as a person, but it just helped bring that out to become like this CEO mama. Um, that has been like the biggest takeaway for me, really.
Yeah, you have experienced some incredible growth as a human being, right? As a human being, as an entrepreneur, and then obviously the external results of hitting that 10K month and then hitting almost a 20K month the next month, right? And I will never forget. I think we were on our last call of the month in July, right?
Yeah.
And we were talking about like, okay, there's like a week and a half left in the month. And you were like,
Yep.
well, I think you were maybe at like 3K or like somewhere. You were like right? Third of the way.
That's right. Actually, I was probably only about 3K, and then that last weekend was like two sales, and then like right on the last day, we hit
Yes.
the mark.
You
So it
hit
was just
you
like a few days.
Yeah. And so and that's just what ends up happening, right? That is why we hold the goal all the way through to the end of the month because you just never know how things are going to add up and multiply in those final hours. So, very exciting, Rachel, you becoming that version of you as the CEO and then seeing the results to go with it. And then, Fazia, what about you?
Yeah, it's been like for me, like I've been playing it small for so long. And so coming into actually, let me go back and starting like investing in this high-end mastermind. This was like my first experience. And I was a bit reluctant and like I was like not seeing myself as like somebody who's earning as much as I wanted. So this mastermind was like a bit of stretch for me, but in a beautiful way. And it's just seeing other CEO moms like building their, um, their business, scaling, growing. That was lit, like I don't know how to say, just it lit fire inside me, and I'm like, I can do this as well. Like it was just beautiful container. We all celebrated. Like when Rachel was getting her, like, high income months. Like I felt like I was doing this. It was like I was earning, and it was really beautiful. I feel like we all loved supported each other. We were like sisters. We were like, like in any way or shape, like we were just there for each other. And so being surrounded like around like-minded moms, it was just like something it was like affecting me in a beautiful way. And also other wins that I got from this mastermind was just like figuring out like the back end of my business without having a VA. And this is something that probably I'll give an advice for those who are starting, like become the person who knows your back end so that when you have the capacity or the income to hire, you already are on board. Like, or like, let's say your VA just quits on you, you know how to jump in and sort of take your business forward, and you're not gonna have that stuck. You're not gonna feel stuck. So that's something that you pushed me, Kate, to figure things out. So whether it's building my own website from scratch, which I don't have any like experience, and you were leading me, and I just like believing in myself that I can do that. I don't need someone else to do it for me. Like it doesn't have to be perfect as well. And yeah, just building, updating my one-on-one coaching and start to sell it even without just waiting for the perfect time or the perfect container. And the great thing that came out of this was like, as I was updating the one-on-one coach, someone just reached out over, like a mom just reached out on TikTok, and I never thought she's gonna like book a call, but she booked the call, and she was sold out even on the discovery call. I didn't even know that she's gonna actually join the one-on-one program, which is like, yeah, so I think it's just shifting that mindset, believing in myself, that I'm the CEO, that, surrounding myself with like-minded women and just figuring things out as I grow and scale. That was like the biggest win for me being in this container.
I've really seen that in you as well. I've seen the way that you've shown up to difficult tasks in your business. You migrated your website over to a new platform, and that's no easy feat for anyone who has done anything with tech. It is such a headache. And I was just so proud of you for taking the lead, taking ownership. And ultimately, this makes you so much stronger as a business owner. And I think what is so cool is that whenever we, challenge ourselves, we grow ourselves into that next level. Sometimes we see fruits on the other end of that. And for you, that was signing a client to your new one-to-one program. So it's pretty amazing.
Thank you.
Yeah. Okay. So, final question. If there is a mom out there who wants to start a business, or maybe she has a business and she's gotten discouraged and she's not taking action on it like she wants to, what would you tell her right now? What is the one thing you would love to say to her?
Yeah, it sounds really obvious, but I would encourage her to really think about her why for doing a business, but also what that what that business is for. So what her values are for home and her values are for business. Um, because what I have found is if you're not really clear on that, by default, one will take over from the other. Either you will put everything you've got into your business and that will take over from home life and family life, and there will always be a cost one way or the other. And so you can either sort of accidentally or by default, I think when you start a business and run a business, put into that. Obviously, women who want to run businesses are ambitious, are capable. And I know for myself, I have that tendency to make that the priority at the expense of my family and my home and my marriage. And so knowing that, or the other way, you might swing the other way where home life just always feels more urgent and you never put time into growing your business. And so having a really clear, have it written down or just have it really clear why you're doing what you're doing and what you want to do that for. Like, what is the purpose of the business? Why do you want to run a business? Not just for the business sake, but what's the benefit of that for your life in general? And just having that clear. And I guess I would also just encourage her to have good mentorship because that has been so helpful for me. Like Kate's mentorship and support has been, yeah, really life-changing, because it's so different to most of the business support out there, which I said before is hustle, hustle, hustle. And this is about making it achievable and keeping it simple so that it is sustainable and it's serving me rather than me serving the business. I'm not a slave to my business. My business serves me, and that's been some really helpful, and probably the biggest thing I've got out of working with Kate and mentorship. So I would really encourage investing in mentorship and being clear about what you want to do this for.
So good, Jamie. Thank you so much. And so much wisdom in your response, too. What about you, Rachel? What would you say?
I know that was incredible, Jamie. Nailed it. Um, we'll spin off a little bit what Jamie was saying, but the first thing was just believe in yourself. Because there's gonna be people who don't believe in you, and it won't work unless you believe in yourself. And if you believe in yourself just a little bit, maybe you can find support where you need it. Like, I mean, I found amazing support in this group is exactly what I needed. Fazia mentioned just being around like-minded moms. We're trying to accomplish, we're all doing very different things, but we're all trying out there to run our businesses. And it has just really greatly had a huge impact on me and my business. And so, yeah, finding support where you need it.
Yeah, you've got to have that belief in yourself. That's so key. And, I remember someone telling me once, a mentor, that it's okay if you don't 100% believe in yourself, that you can lean on other people who believe in you, and that in turn will help you build your belief in yourself. What about you, Fazia? What would you say?
Yeah, I will just like maybe what everything that Rachel and Jamie said. Like I'll give you three advice. Like first is like don't give up, especially in your early stage of your business, because it takes time. And for us as moms, it's just not the same as what you see online. Like people who tell you that like it could be possible like but just give yourself the grace and the time and having that family first like CEO method will help you and just running your own race. I just like see now like I'm in my fourth year in business, but I feel like I'm like now harvesting that fruit of my persistence and not giving up. Like I've seen many people who started with me and just like flip-flopping, like just throwing what they call it, like spaghetti on the wall, not having a strategy, kept them stuck for years and some of them quit. So even me playing small is but being persistent, trying to learn from different coaches and all that kept me going. So that was the first thing, just don't give up. Please keep going. The second thing, and I'll just like say it again, is just like surrounding yourself like with like-minded women and moms who get you. Like sometimes your family, your friends won't get you. They won't know what you're going through, the struggles, like both home and business. But when you surround yourself with other mom CEOs who get you, who can support you when you have doubts creeps in, which it does. Sometimes you doubt yourself, you doubt the day you started the business. I think for me, that was been like the biggest help, that surrounding myself with like-minded mom CEOs. So that's the second advice. And the third one is investing in yourself, like really having a coach who supports you, who shows you the way. It's been the thing that kept me going. Like if I didn't have a coach, I would have gave up a long time ago. So yeah, and I've had different coaches throughout the years, and I've learned from each one of them different ways to grow my business, show up confidently, and just yeah, be myself, and also serving my people the best that I can. So definitely invest in yourself. That's something, even like if I didn't have, I didn't have, most of the time I didn't have the income, and I had to borrow money and all that. But it's really set the foundation for my business. And now I can see that, okay, I'm gonna be scaling my business. I'm showing up as I should be as a CEO. So yeah, that's the three things I wanted to give as an advice. Yeah.
Oh, so much wisdom from you three. This was so good. I would love for each of you to just share, where can listeners find you? Your website, your Instagram, wherever you want to point people. And I will, of course, put it in the show notes to make it easy. But yeah, so Jamie, where can people find you?
Yeah, so my business is called the Midwives Midwife because midwife means with woman, and I wanted to be there to be with midwives as well. So I'm on Instagram as the Midwives Midwife and Facebook, and my website's www.themidwivesmidwife.com. And yeah, so I primarily offer mentoring and coaching to midwives, but I'm also a certified relationship coach, and so I do a little bit of that as well in the background. So if any of them interest you, please get in touch with me and I'd love to chat with you more. So.
And what about you, Rachel?
So premierwinecoolers.com, and Instagram and Facebook is at Premier Wine Coolers. I post a lot on there regularly, a lot of behind the scenes. Yeah, love to see you there.
Awesome. And Fazia, what about you?
Yeah, so my business name is The Authentic Mom, so MUM, because I know that Americans use the O. So I have like, yeah, I show up on Instagram, TikTok, which is the same, The Authentic Mom. And I also have a website, theauthenticmom.com. And I recently launched this year my podcast, the Intentional Mom Podcast. And that's where I share a lot of mom related content and both life and health coaching. So yeah, you can find me there.
Yay! Oh my goodness, it has been such an honor having you three here. My face hurts from smiling because it's so rewarding to hear your stories and hear your heart and your vision for your families and the people you serve. So thank you so much for being here. Thank you so much for listening to today's episode. I want to remind you that the wins and the breakthroughs that you heard today, these are 100% for you too. So let's be the example of what's possible in motherhood and get after it. You've got this, and I will see you next week.